All right. Now this meeting of Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019 will be called to order. We'll begin with public comments.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Skoglund, Citizens for Better Elections, and Protect Our Vote, Philadelphia Coalition. It's been 6 weeks since the voting system selection, and we still don't know how much it's going to cost or how it's going to be paid for. But we can make some estimates. New Jersey in October of 2018 purchased the Express Vote XL for $8,250, another $250 for a 14-hour battery. The RFP tells us that the city intends to replace the machines one for one, so that means 3,735 machines for a total cost of $31.7 million. We know that the poll pads cost $850 each, and the RFP tells us that the intention is to put at least 2 per division. So that's 3,384 for a total cost of $2.9 million. Together, that's $34.6 million just for those 2 items of hardware alone. That's quite a bit more than what Commissioner Deely told the Inquirer on the day of the vote. She said it would be $20 to $27 million price tag with an additional $1 million a year in operating expenses. We don't really know what's included in those operating expenses. It sounds a little low based on what we're seeing in other counties, but for now, let's go ahead and just add that to the column of costs. There's also then this upgraded warehouse, and I don't know what a warehouse costs, but we don't have to know because the commissioners estimated in their slideshow that the total cost of the project was going to be as much as $50 to $60 million. This was in January. In the same slideshow, they also talked about the available funding for this project. For federal funds, there's $1.7 million that's currently available. It's been received. The governor has proposed another $15 million for this fiscal year, and if that's approved, Philadelphia's portion would be $1.8 million. The mayor has proposed $22 million in the capital budget for a total of $25.5 million. Now, you don't have to be a mathematician to see that that's far less than the $50 to $60 million estimated, and even falls short of the $34.6 million just for the hardware alone. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. You remember I showed you this map of what other counties are choosing. The reason they're choosing hand-marked paper ballots is because experts recommend it, and also because it is half the cost. It's something that they can afford. If we were instead to put 1 optical scanner and 1 ballot marking device at each division, there'd be 1,692 divisions at a cost of $7,000 to $9,000 each, for a total of $12 to $15 million. The other costs are similar, but you can see then that the total cost is $16 to $19 million less than the commissioner's plan. Just to make that visual for you, this is a graph, and you can see on it, this is the available funding right here. This is the budget busting plan that's in place right now, and this is only for the hardware. That doesn't count the warehouse expenses that would go at the end of that. These are the low and the high estimates for hand-marked paper ballots, which are under budget and still leave room for those extra expenses. The truth is there's just not funding for this plan, and a contract can't be made if there's not. Home Rule Charter 8200 says that contracts can only be executed if it's been approved for the availability of funds under the budget and appropriations, and the money's not there. So judges, you're putting your good names on the line for a project that is illegal, ill-conceived, and doesn't have enough funding to be completed. It's important for us to change course, stop wasting precious time, and come up with a new plan that Philadelphia can afford. Thank you.
Okay, we do have you have this for all of you.
And the same information has been provided to City Council for them to use during the budget hearings.
Thank you. All right, next comment, please.
Hi.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Meg Berlin. I'm with the Protect Our Vote Philly. So, for the past several weeks, you've heard our carefully prepared statements about the Commissioner's choice of the Express Vote XL machines, that the decision was flawed and it should be overturned. So let me summarize for you. The research contained the following facts. The commissioners who voted for the system were in fact candidates for re-election at the time and should therefore have stepped aside as the law requires. The RFP was designed to favor only one specific system, the system that they ultimately chose. No surprise. The system chosen is the least secure of those considered, but the RFP somehow didn't list security as one of the criteria. The system chosen was by far the most expensive, as Kevin has just outlined for you, and one for which the budget is insufficient. Procurement procedures regarding public input were disregarded, and the public had essentially no input. So now that each of these assertions that I've just mentioned were accompanied by facts and documents given to you over the past month, I want to ask you, how do you propose to correct the situation? That's a question, and I would like an answer.
Thank you for your comment.
You're not going to answer.
Thank you for your comment.
I have to say that I am deeply disappointed that we have no answer. We have come to you, we've given you all the facts. And as Kevin said, your good name is now on this. As judges, I can't personally understand how you won't commit or how you won't take a stand. I am deeply disappointed.
Next comment, please.
Good morning, judges and Commissioner.
Good morning.
I'm Gloria Gilman, Chair of Philadelphia Neighborhood Networks and a representative of the Protect Our Vote Coalition. Numbers of us have been testifying at the Commissioner Sunshine meetings about various problems with the process and selection of the voting system to be purchased for the Philadelphia this year. We do not come back here each week because we're fanatics or crazy citizens determined to interrupt your day. We come here taking precious time from our own jobs and commitments as citizens, as voters, because we know that citizens' abilities to vote for and actually select those who govern us is the absolute cornerstone of democracy. And that if that ability is taken away, then we will not live in a democracy. Thousands upon thousands of people have died in an effort to protect our democracy. You each now have the ability to step forward and protect a real threat to the accuracy of the count of Philadelphia citizens' votes. There is no longer any question whether the best value procurement process has been violated in an effort to pre-select the particular system, ES&S Express Vote XL. You've heard all the numerous ways the system was not properly followed, how the process and ultimate decision were contrary to the state and local ethics code, and how the decision was actually illegal. It may well be that the procurement regulation itself is illegal facially and is applied in this situation. It contains a non-disclosure form that serves as a gag rule to elected officials, likely intended to intimidate elected officials, likely in violation of the First Amendment, and contrary to the requirement that all actions by the commissioners be transparent. But perhaps you have not been sufficiently confronted by the fact that the voting system that was selected is manufactured by a company that has been reported in the media to have repeatedly engaged in conduct that raises serious concerns as to this process, such as by giving certain types of gifts and by hiring people from the public sector into the private sector for more lucrative positions. We know that Commissioner Schmidt made a trip to ES&S headquarters and not to any other vendors. And we know that Commission staff made trips only to look at ES&S products. We know that Pennsylvania Auditor General D. Pasquale has noted that ES&S's inappropriate activities in other Pennsylvania counties and has raised the question as to whether improper conduct may have occurred in Philly. We do not yet know all the facts as to what was motivating our public officials to support this unlikely selection, but we know that the system will require the hiring of additional technical and electrical staff. We know that lobbyists and counsel for ES&S have made repeated donations to the campaigns of Commissioner Dealey and Schmidt over a period of years. We have seen video that shows that Philadelphia Democratic Party Chair Bob Brady lobbied Lisa Dealey to vote for this system the very morning of the vote, congratulated her for making the right choice, and promised to help her campaign succeed. We also know that leaders of ES&S have been significant partisan contributors to political campaigns. We understand that ES&S installed remote access software on their voting systems in the past. And when they were called out about it by the US Senate, they lied about it before Congress, before they finally admitted it. We know that security researchers have recently found that this particular system has a design flaw, as it is capable of printing onto the ballot after the voter has seen and approved the ballot. Altered software can tell it to do that, and no one would ever know. So it is not voter verified at all. That would undo the paper trail that Philadelphia's been directed by the governor to have to protect the integrity of the vote.
We're double the time, right, over 4 minutes.
I'm actually, I have somebody here who would speak, but she's ceding her time to me. We know that if
I'm not
we-
sure that, well, I'm not sure that that's how it works, but I'll ask you to please summarize, particularly since,
Well, I think
it's not new material.
this is actually
So-
new, if you put it together.
Well, let's summarize.
We know that if a machine has the potential to be hacked, it will be hacked. It's inevitable at some point in time. Somebody will actually hack it. Pennsylvania is allegedly one of the 3 states whose votes might determine the selection of the next president. Philadelphia's vote historically has had a large impact on the outcome of the state vote for president. If we allow this decision to stand, despite the improper use of the procurement system approved by our electorate, despite known violations of ethics and law, despite facts that have to make us question the propriety and the motivations of those who have pushed for this illogical choice, then we are asking for our democratic system's demise. And what's more self-destructive is that we are agreeing to hang ourselves while being gouged for our tax money by purchasing the most expensive option we have. The motivation to purchase a
Thank
new
you.
system.
At 5:20, that's more than 2.
Your Honor,
I'm
this
asking
is-
you,
we-
I'm
we-
asking you when it.
We have had these
It doesn't mean that this one goes on forever.
for weeks, and they've gone
It
on
doesn't
for a
mean that this
total
one
of
goes on
15
forever.
minutes.
You're telling me it's gone on for weeks, then that only confirms that we don't need to go on forever again the same thing. We appreciate your comment.
What I'm telling
And
you
is
is
there
that you
anything
still
else?
have time. Lisa Dealey actually
I think I heard that one too.
stated that we have till July to correct this.
Yes.
And you still have time to go through all that is necessary
Thank
to
you.
do a new RFP and start the process.
Thank you very much. Any other comments?
Morning, judges. It would be really great to just wrap this up. This is not astrophysics. If the dollar store can do it, so can we. All we need is a glorified cash register. A machine that can print in duplicate and print one that goes in the machine as the official record and a receipt for the voter. That is the only way to allow a manual audit capacity. No barcodes, no QRs, no code, because humans cannot read that. Anything that contains software, QRs, barcodes, etc. can be hacked, and it will be hacked. So, let's just get the machines that the dollar store has. It's cheap, it's easy, and it cannot be hacked. This has been going on for over 13 years. That's when HAVA was first passed federal law. Philadelphia received, if I remember correctly, over 4.8 million, and we have 0 voter verifiable machines. It's just not, this is not okay, and this is not a difficult situation here. So please, just do the right thing. This is the most important decision you may ever make. This is gonna affect the vote in Philadelphia for what, the next 20, 30 years, who knows? Please, just do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may, I brought an article for you on how voting machine lobbyists undermine the democratic process.
Thank you very much. All right, any other comments? All right, if there are no other comments, then we'll hear the supervisor.
Well, Your Honor, judges, or Commissioner, sorry. Notes from County Board of election activities for April 3rd, 2019. As of today, the County Board of Elections has received 364 absentee applications. 138 of them were alternative, and and 19 civilian overseas and 1 military application for the May 21st primary. All have been processed, labeled, and we are waiting for the ballot. We are currently working on the database for the primary ballot and preparing all materials needed for the upcoming election. We do have 2 appeals to Commonwealth Court pending for city candidates. We are introducing and training on how to use the Philadelphia new campaign finance filing system in conjunction with the Board of Ethics that will take effect for the Cycle 1 reporting period. On Friday, April 5th, 2019, we will start mailing and emailing write-in ballots to military and overseas voters according to the state election code. For seminar training, we were at South Philadelphia High School. For that week, we had 413 board workers come out. We're at Ryan High School for the last 2 days, and we've had 254 board workers come out. We're also taking watcher requests for Election Day. So far, we received 1 request for rewards, but if anybody wants to put in requests, we're taking them up till Election Day. That's it.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honors, Commissioner. Okay, so far for the election cycle to date, we've processed 88,678 applications, 11,700 of which were paper. So far, they've approved 11,000 of those. Correspondence size 14,824 applications left to be re-regged. We ordered the new replacement phones for the election day. There's 22 of those. And all units will be up to date with entering and processing by the end of the day.
All right, any old business? And new business? Yes.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, judges. I have 9 hearings, and I'd like to start at the 12th ward. Before I start, ward leaders are notified, ward workers are notified. Signs were posted at the old new polling place and throughout the division, never changing. So everyone was notified that we had to notify.
Right.
I have received no opposition to anything that I'm going to state today. All right, so starting in the 12th ward and 4th division, had a request to move from Harambe Church to Shrine of the Miraculous Medal. That was my first one. Second one is to move from Corinthian Community and Education Center to Mount Airy Church of Christ. That's my second one. That's the 17th ward to 7th division.
We'd just like to say for the record, approved.
Yes, I was thinking we might do that.
Yeah.
We can do this, yeah, approve both.
The third one is the 17th ward, the 8th division, from Corinthian Community Center to the Building 21 school. That's 17th ward, 8th division.
Approved.
Next one is 18th ward, 12th division, to move from Adair School to Fishtown Rec Center.
Approved.
Next one I have is the 21st ward to 23rd division, to move from Mifflin School to the Second Church of Christ.
Approved.
Next one is the 21st ward again, the 24th division, moved from Lingelbach School to Walnut Lane Golf Club. Next one is 34th ward, 15th division, moved from Tustin Rec Center to the Yarborough and Rock Funeral Home. Next one is 42nd ward, 15th division, New Life Presbyterian Church and International Christian High School. Final one, which we should have started with, 42nd ward, 18th division, moved from Zyler Rec Center to International Christian High School. And that completes it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. All right, if there's nothing else, then this meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
It's 2 out of 3, so all 3 of them voted individually. Just on the same one.
So then just go down Robinson Avenue, it's Tabor. Make a right to Tabor and make a left on that.